All right, Mark, here's my brainstorm so far. I'm not going to zoom in. It's just a bunch of thoughts I've had, but I am going to walk through this model and how I would envision running this business, just to give you some thoughts here. And hopefully you can use some of this stuff depending on how we decide to work together. But I just wanted to share it because I had some, I think, pretty neat insights. Okay, and I've got 10 minutes here. It's 12:15, so I can get this on YouTube and make the size fit. Okay, so I'm gonna go kind of quick, and I'm gonna spend a lot of time on the business model itself. First of all, is the marketing, the sales and marketing. I have a lot of different ways that we could get leads from affiliate marketing or direct marketing to the end users, the sellers. But all that I think is irrelevant because I think the way that you go about this is you go under contract. You use services like MLSForOwners.com where you're dealing directly with the seller. You go to ForSaleByOwner.com, and I have software that will scrape from Craigslist and things. Anyway, you gather in this data where you're dealing directly with the seller. You explain that you're going to go under contract to do a short sale, which everybody understands, short sale. So you get under contract, and it's essentially a sunk cost philosophy where they're going to be working with you, and it's going to be too costly for them to go away from you at some point. So you get under contract, maybe 30, 60 days later, you go back to them and say, listen, the bank's not going to work with us on a short sale, but we have another way that we have a good chance to stop the foreclosure. It's not guaranteed, but this is how we would do it, and that's when you do the subject to purchase and get the interest that you need to go after the bank. So I think that that whole model. The other thing I would throw into that too is I would go out and hire for like $1,000 a month on a contingency basis a starving realtor, tons of them available obviously, who will work, and their job is to qualify leads and write contracts. They don't represent you as the company. All they're doing is writing contracts and submitting them for you based on your criteria. So I think that's well worth it. It would be easy for cheap to find somebody willing to do that. Maybe $1,000 is too much. I don't know. Maybe you could do it for $500 a month. Essentially have them write a bunch of contracts. Okay? So that's how to get the deals. That part I think is easy now. This is the process that I went through on how the deals, the sales funnel process, how to get down to either note rescission or foreclosure or somewhere in between. I'm not going to go through that. What I want to focus on is how to do this business as in the most cost-effective way that also, for me, works with my lifestyle. My wife and I have decided that our lifestyles, we're going to have a very mobile lifestyle. We're not tied down to any particular area. We're going to live part of the year in the U.S., part of the year, 3, 4, 5 months of the year outside of the U.S., so I don't want to get involved in any business model that requires a physical location. So I thought about how to make this work, and I've come up, I think, with some brilliant insight on how to do that. So first thing, I'm just going to run through it. The first thing is to make things so it can be done remote, but there can still be a lot of accountability. The first thing is using a project manager. I use a company called Basecamp, basecamp.com, and I've used them a lot for my lease option business, and they're great because they let you set up for each project, and this process is essentially something that you can take and you can separate into tasks and milestones. So what you do is you take this process, you break it down into the tasks and milestones, you assign it to whoever it's assigned to, and then every file that comes in essentially fits that mold. There's going to be some differences because every file will be a little unique, but the 90% of it's going to be the same. So we use Basecamp to manage the projects and to keep everybody accountable, and for you can see exactly where every file is and know who's working on it and when they last logged in. It has a lot of really neat accountability features as well. So Project Manager, $50 a month. The other thing I've thought about is the attorney. You don't need to go out and get a lease. You don't need to go out and get a brick and mortar office and tie yourself up with the lease and the expense and risk of that. The better way to do that is use a company like Regus.com, R-E-G-U-S.com, and what they do is they provide a temporary Class A office facilities for professionals. And when you join Regus, they have, I think, over 600 locations around the world in all the major metropolitan areas, where they have a full-time receptionist on staff. You walk in there, I've been to these facilities and they're excellent. It's just professional, and it can be used to meet clients. They have a full service staff if you want to use it. And what I would suggest on that, they have a platinum level for $300 a month, which would get the access to the conference room 10 days out of the month, some other things too. So the attorney could meet clients if he needed to in a very professional environment without the huge expense of going and getting an office. So $300 a month, very cost effective. In relating to the attorney as well, one thing you don't want to do is have, I thought about this, if you hire an attorney and they're telecommuting, you don't want all the documents to end up at that attorney's home or whatever. So if you have to fire that attorney, or if they get sick, or if they quit or whatever, you don't want to be in a position where, oh shit, they've got all of our documents. So here's the workaround for that. Use a company like Earth Class Mail, earthclassmail.com. There's another one I like better, but essentially what these companies do is all the legal documents, certified mail, legal size mail, all the mail for the company goes through this service, and they scan everything into a PDF. And what they do, the beautiful thing is they keep all the originals on file there. So as a business owner, nobody else in the company has access to the originals. And the other thing is they scan everything to PDF and send it to whoever you designate. So there's not time wasted scanning things back and forth. Everything's sent electronically through PDF and then is easily uploaded into the project manager for the specific file. So that's $50 a month. That's all that costs, and saves a huge amount of time, and also protects you as a business owner as well. So the other thing is, at some point, the attorney, you'd want to get him an assistant, and there are companies. There's a company in the Philippines that I've used for virtual assistants. For $700 a month, just $700 a month, you can have a full-time assistant to work on whatever that you want them to work. And they mostly do repetitive tasks, but essentially, once this gets going, you can figure out what's pretty repetitive and put that person on that task for $700 a month. Incredible value. Instead of live meetings, you don't need that. You use webinars, GoToMeeting. And you're able to, maybe you meet every day, whatever the case is. You use GoToMeeting to keep accountability, to go over the project manager, and it's a really good service. So that's how you meet face to face. Use eFax instead of sending and receiving fax. Everything's done electronically. Get a virtual office phone number. Get a nice website done. Doesn't cost a lot. A website that generates leads and screens the leads. And then the other things is just how much you're going to pay the attorney, which, I don't know, that's still a little bit up in the air. But you have a company, I've got a company that'll do logo, stationery, letterhead, set everything up for $300. They do a great job. So that's it. I mean, all this stuff can be done quickly. That could be done and set up within a matter of, I would say, a couple weeks at the outset, to get all of that set up. The biggest piece is going to be the attorney getting the right person. So anyway, that's it. I am very excited about this model and how we work together on this. I think we got to decide on we could collaborate on this. We could there's some options. I think neither of us need the money. I mean, we both have money to do this business model. I do, and I know you do. So it's just, I think at a minimum we collaborate on it as we go down the road. Maybe we go actually form a corporation together and go after this in a bigger way. I think the markets to go after are on the coasts. Florida, California, Washington. You go where the biggest values of property and the highest rents are. So anyway, dude, hope you found this helpful. And I just wanted to share it with you and get your thoughts. I'm going to post it on YouTube and send you a link.